Maybe one day I will go through and delete them all. However, I do feel as though sometimes that negative or that other side really does open up the dialogue.
It does. It does.
For instance, I have a friend named Michelle Hart who's been on this show, and she has different ideas, and she has, let's say, a different opinion. And it's kind of surprising because of who she is. We'll call her transgendered because I'm not exactly sure how she identifies, but she identifies as a woman, but...
but she identifies as a straight woman.
A straight woman, okay. Right. But there's a male heritage. So I'm not exactly sure how she identifies.
She's got male naughty bits.
Absolutely. And so, not post-op or anything like that. So, I mean, and is very strongly opinionated, and very conservative and Republican. And I've had her on the show, and I've had a lot of negative feedback. And I've even had people tell me that they were going to stop listening to this show if I had her back.
That's stupid.
And I find that crazy, and I often worry about Michelle coming out to the bar because I feel like she's setting herself up as a target. Where some of the things that she says, I agree with. But the problem is the great big picture.
That's right.
The great big picture, the end result will mean that I am a less than, I am not equal to, and I will be denied.
I think that's where it comes from. And, I'm an unabashed liberal, I'm an unabashed progressive, but at the same time, there are issues out there that I tend to lean more towards the conservative side on. I won't go into all of them because who cares, really, what my opinion on everything in the world is. But, yeah, we all have some conservative issues, I think.
Sure, I think
where we'd like things to stay the same. There are some, I do some business, so I have some pro-business sentiments, although, I'm going to get myself into real trouble here. I'll go ahead and throw one out. I didn't understand what standing in the park in New York for the 1% did at all. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. And
I did not either.
Yeah, revolution to overthrow the system is not going to work, folks, but if that's what you want to do. So say, I'll throw one out there and say I'm not always on the liberal side, but ultimately...
Do you think that was liberal?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know that it was a liberal mindset.
I think that it was just really tired and frustrated about not having a job.
It was reactionary.
And I really think that if you really pulled the people out of the line, you would find a lot of people that were just frustrated, not being able to find a job, not being in the same place that they were 5 years ago, can't find a job. And were just really kind of pissed off at the system because they had lost their houses. And I think a lot of people that were involved in that lost homes.
Oh, sure.
Lost homes because they were guaranteed things they should have been told no to.
And also, and I've said this a million times.
The system failed them.
That's right, and I've said this a million times. When it comes down to voting for a president, it needs to be a lot of these issues on the human issues because, folks, the president doesn't control the economy. Never has, never will. That's banks, the monetary system, how we buy, what we do. We caused the financial crisis by buying those bad home loans, by charging up.
And not a lot of people know that the Federal Reserve, is a business for profit.
That's right.
And not a lot of people know that.
And they also don't realize that when the Fed changes an interest rate or anything else, the president has no control.
It has nothing to do with it.
When Clinton, Clinton has, I know Clinton, I've been friends with him for years, but when he claims he saved the economy, he didn't. He happened to be president at a lucky time.
At a really good time.
That's right.
Absolutely.
As far as Bush, who I despise on many, many levels, he didn't ruin the economy. He just happened to be president when it happened. Obama has done everything he can, in my opinion, to try to fix it, but It'll fix when it wants to. Not to mention, in the last 50 years, we've used about every resource we can find. We're basically trashing our environment. There's not much left for us to take advantage of. So don't blame the president. Vote for the president on the issues that matter. So if you don't want people to get abortions, if you don't want people to be gay, if you don't want them to get married, then vote for Mitt Romney, because he's really about those social issues, because he can't fix your job problem. Trust me. Do you think?
No, absolutely not. And the only thing that's going to fix our job problem is a better economy, and as we feel more comfortable in it, spending more money.
That's right.
And I don't think Americans are feeling more comfortable. Are you?
No.
In your PR job, are you seeing that people are being a little bit more loose with their wallets?
No, of course not.
You know, and I follow the market almost every day, and our unemployment rate is a little bit better than it was.
It is.
4 years ago.
Housing sales are up.
Housing sales are better. Our housing sales and housing prices are better than they have been since 2007.
Actually, new housing sales are better, but existing houses are not.
Existing houses are about flat. New housing is up, but it's all really very minimal. It's all very marginal. However, you have to. I think at this point we have to take baby steps.
These fluctuations, it's really been flat since Bush, and it's stayed flat. And these fluctuations have gone like this, up and down. They're not there. I mean,
we have really been in a bad economy since 9/11.
yeah.
And
certainly
9/11 changed everything.
I agree.
And I'm not exactly sure when we will start seeing a better economy. I don't think it's going to be now. I think that if anybody has any sentiment that it's getting better, I think it's false. And
Well, and Europe is in so much trouble, and they're one of our biggest markets. And if they go, we're going to go back down again. So,
yes, and the euro's in a lot of big trouble. But however, I used to think that European countries were going to start defecting from the euro. And in fact, I made that prediction, and I have to take that away because I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're really going to work very, very hard to keep the euro together. Greece is a huge drain on it. However, Germany seems to be the stronghold, and it appears that Germany is not going to defect. I said that I thought that Germany would defect by the end of the year, and I don't think that's going to happen.
that's going to be interesting to watch.
And absolutely, but one little thing can change it all. And you know, and I don't want to say that 911 was a little thing, but 911 changed the global economy in one day.
Oh, sure.
And really in 1 hour.
Sure.
The entire global economy went into chaos because of that event.
I think 911, and then, the sheer fact that, we've been living way above our means for so long.
Absolutely.
That the consumers just couldn't sustain it. I mean,
Yep.
it happened during the Great Depression. It's happened again because you cannot live on a credit bubble. It's money that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
If you're spending money that you don't have, who really has it? It's just going in one big circle. It doesn't work.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. You say it's this big circle. Well, it's circling the
Banks bail out
drain.
something, and then so we bail out the banks, then they bail out, and it's basically we have a finite amount of money, which is how much the taxpayers and the consumers in this country spend, and that's all the money that there is, and it's just going round and round.
And I often get disillusioned by the fact that, when people are like, well, just print more money. And it's like, but you don't understand what printing more money is. And we have printed more money in the last 20 years than we have in the entire history of the Federal Reserve Bank. And it astounds me at how much money has been printed.
And it hadn't helped.
And right. And there's the problem with the 1%. Because all of that money really just kind of seems to stay at the top of the tree. And there's, I think, a lot of the problem with a lot of the 1%ers is that money isn't trickling down.
I think what we need to do is stop saying that, if you give them tax cuts, they're going to spend it to improve the economy. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
No, they're going to hire more people and do more things when we start spending money and buying their products,
Right.
which we can't do because there is no money to buy them. So, no, saying that is ridiculous. And, we're going to drive, and I don't know how you feel about it, but we're going to drive this country into the ground if we don't eventually say we have to raise taxes, because it just has to come from somewhere. And the solution is not to cut our schools, our infrastructure, our education. Our solution is to take a little bit more money. And I'm sorry, if that means you can't buy a fifth vacation home and another boat and another Bentley, too bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. At some point, we have to stop being so damn entitled. We are not entitled to take our Rome vacation, and we are not entitled. What we are entitled to do is to pay for the things that we purchase.
Well, and I mean, ultimately, I love that you said that, because ultimately, I mean, we talk about poor people in this country. It's so many poor people. Go to Africa. Poor people in this country have TVs. Some, not all. I'm not going to generalize, but a lot of them have TVs and cars, and poor is a relative term. Now, I don't want to live the way the poor live in this country, and neither do you, and neither does anybody. It's not a great existence, but we are entitled. We have so much stuff. And I mean, you don't need 100 pairs of shoes. You don't need 5 vacation houses.
Yes, I do.
You do, but you can write yours off.
But you're absolutely right. At some point, we have become, and this is something that I've been worried about for a decade, is the entitlement of the new generation has really trickled up.
And their education skills and their talents have not.
Have not. Because, how old are you, may I ask?
45.
Okay, I'm 46. Our generation have had children that are now 20. And what we did was we told them how awesome they were.
That's right.
Oh, you're so awesome. And you can be, and you can do, and you can have anything you want.
Which you can't.
But, yeah, you can. But you have to earn it. You have to work for it.
But
I can't give it to you.
The fallacy there, though, is if you work for it, you may not get it. And especially in this culture where now we're telling everybody you can be famous, or what. Not everybody is meant to be famous. Not everybody is going to be rich. I remember at one point in my life just waking up and saying, okay, well, I'm not going to be Cary Grant, and I'm probably not going to be Donald Trump, and those things, and that's okay. But now, I don't know if it's reality TV or whatever that's telling kids, you can have all that for doing nothing. You can be Paris Hilton.
No, for being ridiculous
Yeah.
and being entitled, and because
Right.
I demand it, I get it. And